Thank you, Travis. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rick Powell with Liberty Energy, and I just wanted to speak a little bit about our Bettering Human Lives Foundation. Liberty started the Bettering Human Lives Foundation at the beginning of 2024 with the goal of bringing clean cooking to the energy-impoverished communities through low-interest loans, supporting local entrepreneurs in the LPG space. Just a little fun fact about last year's event. One of the entrepreneurs we are now partnering with in Kenya first came to us through this very conference last year. Their brother-in-law attended this event, made the introduction to his family back home with less than a year later, supported by Bettering Human Lives Foundation funding. They successfully converted 700 rural homes in Kenya to LPG. So I have a little video that I would like to present now.
There was so much smoke and ash, I could barely breathe. Had to get out. I wasn't in a house fire. I was in a kitchen.
So smoky. I was in there just a few minutes, and it's amazing. My eyes are just burning. It's just, I can feel it in my throat.
I've spent years studying energy poverty. The books, the statistics, the scientific articles. I thought I understood it. But after experiencing it firsthand, in talking to people who live with it daily, I realized how superficial my understanding was. This is Lena. It was her kitchen I was in. She's one of 2 billion people worldwide who cook using wood, dung, or charcoal. That's 1 out of 4 people on planet Earth. Look at the black soot caked on her kitchen walls. Lena breathes in that same soot, the equivalent of smoking 2 packs of cigarettes every day. Survival is an all-day, everyday endeavor for people like Lena. Here's the breakdown of a day. Gathering firewood for cooking, up to 2 hours. Walking to fetch water, up to 2 hours. Cooking, up to 3 hours. Tally up these hours. Women like Lena spend nearly half of their waking hours gathering firewood, fetching water, and cooking in these conditions. These basic survival chores aren't just time intensive, they're also labor intensive. Look at the water jugs they're carrying. Each weighs about 45 pounds, as much as a full 5-gallon water jug. They wash clothes by hand at the river for nearly half a day. These are just some of the many daily hardships for people like Lena. But one thing really stood out to me: the polluted air in their kitchens. Indoor air pollution causes 3.2 million deaths a year, more than malaria, TB, AIDS, and cholera combined. And it's not just a problem in rural places, but cities too.
I went to the hospital, and then the doctor checked me, and then he said, "Wow, what is wrong?" And he said, "There is smoke all over me and inside me."
What's the solution? A clean burning fuel that's convenient, transportable, and compatible with Lena's cooking methods. Cooking with gas checks all the boxes. 20% of people in Africa already cook with gas. They manage to avoid the health consequences of cooking with wood or charcoal. But what about Lena? Why doesn't she cook with gas? She can't access it. There's no infrastructure for piping gas to people's homes. They instead have to use these small gas cylinders. But buying one of these cylinders and a gas stove costs nearly a month's wages, far more than households like Lena can afford. The government wants more people cooking with gas, but it doesn't have the know-how or the resources to make it happen.
LPG is a game changer. I think the opportunities are endless, in my opinion, but collaboration is key, especially with private sector, because we can't do it as government.
Traditional nonprofit organizations can't solve the problem either. They don't have the resources to supply gas at scale. The only way of solving the problem in a way that's financially sustainable and empowers local people is to get the private sector involved. I met many talented entrepreneurs in Africa. They've developed ingenious systems for making gas accessible and affordable. There's only one problem. They can't get the money to grow their businesses. It's extremely difficult for small businesses to get loans in Africa. And the lucky few who do get loans pay interest rates as high as 34%.
The barrier to entry for us has always been the financial barrier. With interest rates and taxes and charges being over 20%, 25%, it's very hard to look at it as a business case and actually invest in it.
Mama has approached over 10 commercial banks. Very interested, but that's where it ends.
The Ghanaian financial sector is not very open to startups. And even when they do want to finance you, you have to cover the loan by up to 120%. You also are confronted with an interest rate of about 32 to 34%. So technically, what the banks are doing to you is that they are strangling you to death. So you even die before you start a business.
You and I can help. The Bettering Human Lives Foundation aims to provide modern, clean cooking fuel to millions of Africans, not by giving handouts, but by empowering local businesses to grow and support their own communities.
So the Bettering Human Lives Foundation is providing low-interest loans to these existing businesses, these existing entrepreneurs, to enable them to grow and scale their businesses.
For example, in Ghana, a 4% interest loan enabled Henry at Henos Energy to triple the number of Henos cylinder cages, which has brought LPG closer and much more accessible to communities. And moving to Kenya, our loan enabled Mama Gas to expand operations outside of Nairobi to the tea-growing region of Kericho, and that is making LPG much more accessible and affordable for those families. Elsewhere in Kenya, another loan to Kisak Enterprises is enabling them to sell LPG cylinders and stoves on repayment plans for families to help them get over the affordability barrier to making the switch to LPG.
Join me in supporting the Bettering Human Lives Foundation. Your donation empowers African businesses to grow, bringing affordable, reliable energy to more families and communities. Stand up for more energy, not less. Donate now at betteringhumanlives.org.
In the end of that video, Ann that was on there is from our Bettering Human Lives Foundation. That's the family that she met during this conference last year and went to Kenya. So that's actually the family and her that we helped support to get the 700 homes with gas in them. So if you have any questions about anything, we have a booth over here. So thank you for everything.